Let's go. Yeah. I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet, lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Passing the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back better than last. It's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. 'Cause that's what it takes.
Microphone on. All right. What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. What is today? January 15th, halfway through the month. It's been a couple days since I have spent time with you guys, other than those of y'all in the Discord. So let's give YouTube a little bit of love here. We have a movie that we're going to see later this evening, so I have limited time. And she said she wants to go to the store for a couple of snacks. So let's see what we can get done before I get pulled away. We're going to talk about finger motion. I highlighted in the Discord yesterday that it is finally back in a demand zone that I have had in place for a couple years. The area that I like to buy finger. A lot of people say Tony hates finger. Tony works for the shorts. You know, all the same nonsense they say about me in every single ticker, because what do we do? What do we do here? We tell you, wait for a good entry and sell into run-ups. That doesn't mean we work for the shorts. That means we are trying together, all of us, you and me, to be intelligent, non-emotional traders. And I'm going to keep on hitting on a couple of themes in 2026. And that is, you got to understand who on social media is trying to manipulate you with those kind of lies and stories. You need to understand that good entries are often the key to success in a trade, more often than not. And you also got to have an exit plan. And that, I don't mean $1,000. You can see some of my previous trades here on Fingermotion. I missed this bottom, but that was 101, the low on the chart here. We were looking for where did it settle out at? I didn't know where it was going to stop, but we had a boom, and then it ripped. I snagged some at 484 and sold 2 days later for about a $1.50 profit. Nothing really to brag about, but we called the top here pretty good, getting out, and then I waited a year to buy in again at $1.08 and $1.30, and then it ripped up to $4 or $5. This company, Fingermotion, I'm going to go through the financials with you just as a teaching moment. I just want to kind of set the stage here before everybody comes in and says, this company is crap, yada, yada, yada. The company is crap, but of crappy companies, it's not the worst that we've seen. They have revenue, they have products. I mean, there's tickers out there that these people want you to buy that have no revenue. GTII, MMTLP. There's companies they want you to buy that have filed bankruptcy. BBBYQ. You know what I'm talking about. Fingermotion, to their credit, they have a he seems like a professional CEO, Martin Shin, and they have revenue, and they have some potential new revenue buckets. However, the company is still burning a little bit of cash, and they have one secret big problem that I want to talk to you about that we just need to be aware of as we're looking at income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statements. What are some things that if you're not a CPA, let me throw you a couple bones of what to look out for that are warning signs. That doesn't mean don't trade Finger. It means you need to be aware of what the company is likely to do and what breadcrumbs do the financial statements give us that give us these little warnings. Cheers to you guys. I'm drinking a little bit of, what is this? Kentucky bourbon tonight. The Buffalo Trace. One little sippy sip before the movie. So if you have questions on Finger, or if you're trading Finger, or if you're that's a no-go for me, let me know down in the chat while we're waiting for a few other people to come in. We're going to get into the things that you probably have never heard me talk about before on any other company. Finger's got one unique problem. Doesn't stop me from trading it. It does drive my behavior when I'm trading it. AMC, markets will be closed on Monday due to MLK. All right, AMC. Let's just briefly touch on these. I don't own any AMC. I have not owned any since November of 2024. I hear people on other YouTube channels, Tony's just talking about this ticker because he wants you to put all your money in AME and GMC. These guys are their lies are so funny up in their head, they can't even get the tickers right. It's not AME and GMC. It is AMC and GME. Tickers that I cover. Just because I cover a ticker doesn't mean that I own it. And it certainly doesn't mean that I want you to buy it. It does mean that I think that there is value in me providing coverage because most people don't cover these tickers in an honest way, which is why I cover many tickers. Many of them I trade. The tickers that I own for the long haul, nobody wants to hear about those. I make videos on those. They go up 50 or 100%, but you guys aren't looking for safe blue chip plays, are you? You want the ones that are going to go up 1,000% in 2 days. So, in Discord, we talk about the real stuff, but here on YouTube, nobody wants to watch those videos. Why should I waste a day making a video about a blue chip stock that's going to go up 100% in 6 months? That's boring to you guys, apparently. At any rate, I'm not trying to convince anyone to buy AMC. I don't own it. I might later in Q1, but I've been telling the Discord since July, based on what we saw in the filings, the price was likely going to go down to this white line here, $1.50, and go down it did. It went pretty much exactly as we thought it would. And I want you to note the date that the stock zoomed up here, January 9th. 9th or 10th. January 9th. What is that date? It is 30 days from the shareholder meeting that was on December 9th. Therefore, it's playing into my theory that, you know, we know there was a VWAP measurement period and the lenders were going to get a rate determined by the average VWAP after the vote. But we didn't know how long that period would be. I was guessing around January 13th was the date that I put out there on social media. But 30 days would be around January 9th. And then at that point, there's no incentive for the lenders to keep shorting the price down because they've locked in their exchange rate. They've got their shares more than likely. And now they want to sell them. They want the price to go up so they can unload 100 million shares onto retail traders or whoever else wants to buy them. So in my mind, you know, it's playing out exactly like we've been forecasting for 7 months. And another reason why I didn't hold the stock. I'm also forecasting an ATM, at the market offering, or a forward agreement in early February. And so I'm still on the sidelines on the stock until I find out if that is the case. Am I trying to be bearish? Am I trying to scare you? No, I just want you to know, same thing, we talk about this ad nauseum in the Discord. In December, AMC went and asked the lenders for permission to do a at the market offering. They had been constrained to do an ATM of maximum 50 million over the next 180 days. That means they basically couldn't raise any money until June. In December, AMC went to the lenders and said, hey, all right, here's how the conversation went in my mind. Hey, we're going to have a pretty bad cash burn in Q1. We need the ability to bump that ATM limit up to 150 or we're fucked. And what can we work out here? And they said, I tell you what, the lenders, I tell you what, Adam and Sean, here's what we'll do. We'll let you bump up the ATM to your requested 150, but we need at least until February 2nd to sell our shares that we're getting from the exchangeable note. So you can't do it before February 2nd. Does that work for you? Adam says, yeah, that works. We have that 30-day VWAP, and that'll give you 2 or 3 weeks to sell the shares. And they say, but Adam, we initially had agreed it was going to be 6 months. Now you want us to get rid of all these shares in 3 weeks. What if we can't do that? We need you to sweeten the pot, Adam. Well, what do you mean? We want a 12.5% discount on that exchange rate, and we want a $6.25 million penalty, also payable in shares. Adam and Sean looked at each other and like, well, fuck. Sean's like, Adam, we really need that 150 million bucks. All right, you got a deal. So that's, in my mind, how the negotiation went. The lenders only got a few weeks to get rid of their shares, but some of their pressure got taken off because AMC gave them an additional 12.5% discount on the exchange rate, plus an extra $6 million in shares as a penalty fee. So that's how I see it going. And I don't think, the reason I went through that whole story, I don't think that AMC agreed to these very harsh penalties, $6.25 million fee and a 12.5% discount on the exchange rate at the end of December. I don't think they agreed to that because they didn't plan to use it, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Why would you throw your shareholders to the sharks with all these penalties if you didn't seriously intend to use it? Either they're going to use it or management is working against us. And I still choose not to believe that management is working against us. I think they are working to maintain liquidity and keep the company afloat till box office gets better. So that's kind of where I'm at with AMC. That's pretty much all I'm going to say. We are watching right now for an 8K to drop any day that says the notes were exchanged. If I don't see that 8K, either I am wrong that is a material event, or the VWAP measurement period is longer than 30 days, or they haven't exchanged the notes. I mean, there's a chance I could be wrong 3 ways. But things playing out the way that they have been kind of all fits what I've been saying in Discord for 7 months. So it makes sense to me, and I'm on 8K watch, and then I'll be on ATM watch. Rebleep says he bought on Monday and immediately sold. You're not the only one that sold. Look at this freaking volume. Massive, massive volume on AMC. And in my mind, that volume provides cover for the lenders to sell 50 to 100 million shares. Did they tip the buy frenzy off? Hey, go do an immediate buy of 1 million shares. Let's get this thing popping. Let's get the day traders and the FOMO buyers in here. Did they do that? I don't know. I don't trust these lenders. I wouldn't put anything past them. Is it AMC trying to do this? I don't think so. I think this is all lender. The walk down was the lenders, and the incentive to push the price up was probably the lenders. You could say maybe they just stopped shorting, but hey, why not add a little bit of extra salt into the recipe? Let's kick it off with some buys and really get this FOMO crowd going. We got some shares to dump, and we only got 3 weeks. That's my story. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not planning to buy till after I find out what happens with the ATM. GameStop up 1.5% today, 1.6. I do own some GameStop. I don't tell people to buy any stock. I just talk about what I'm doing. I like to buy, like on most stocks, down in a demand zone that I've identified. It's not hard. You can go buy. Oh man, I have a book on demand zones that I recommend to you guys. I forget the freaking title of it, but I'll post it again if anybody cares. You identify your demand zones. Look, it's not that hard. Just find where the most recent support was. And there's different ways you can draw a demand zone. I have my own particular methodology I use based on the candles. I like to buy around those demand zones. The pumper channels hate me because we exercise patience with extreme prejudice on this channel. But that sets you up to be patient, to be relaxed, to enjoy it. You don't really care if it's trading at 21, 22, 25. We're not in the red. And when Ryan Cohen drops the news, we will sell into the run-up. Or maybe we'll hold into the run-up. Maybe we'll hold into the run-up. It depends on what the news is. Depends on what the news is. Maybe I just let it ride, or maybe I sell a little bit and let the rest ride. We'll see. We'll see, but I'm not a buy and hold forever channel. So if that hurts you, if that gets your panties all in a wad, well, stay on the pumper channels. They'll make sure your shares go straight to your kids and that you never once extract a profit. Cheers, kids. Rebleep says, took my gains into Railtown, listened to your video with the swap. Very good. You know what? Rebleep. I heard, I wasn't gonna do this, but let's talk about Railtown for a second. Let's talk about Railtown for a second. I have some notes on the screen here. Coverage initiated in, it was in June in Discord. Womp womp. I posted a tweet in July. I heard someone today say, why Tony DeNaro's talking about the walk down on AMC share price because of the shorts. Why won't he talk about it on Railtown? I did talk about it, friends. I did talk about it. Railtown, where are you at? July 8th. Let's bring this tweet down here. I keep receipts on myself. Why didn't Tony talk about the walk down? This was a warning that I posted July 8th. What was Railtown trading at on July 8th? Trading at around 60 cents. It ran up to 68. What did I say? Did I warn anybody about the shorts walking Railtown down? I said, yes, it is bumping into a supply zone resistance. Here's where I warned you about the shorts walking it down. Caution warranted if it rejects here. I mean, I can't tell you to sell. I'm not a channel that tells people buy, buy at any price, sell. So I don't do that. I read the filings, I listen to the management, I look at the charts, and I combine all of that into this hocus pocus that is my due diligence. And we saw that there was caution warranted if it rejects here. And reject it did. And what happened? It trailed all the way down from that high to 25 cents. Back to the previous, demand zone. So I had bought a little bit around, around 48, 50 cents a couple days before the AIP deal got announced, hoping that we'd get some bounce. That didn't happen, but I sized my position very small because the outcome of that is very unknown. The AIP deal did go through, but we didn't get any bounce in price. We just got a collapse. So I have actually been building my position down here where we always do. This right here is the no-no zone. If you're buying here in the no-no zone, I want you to think about risk management. This is the wave the green flag zone, the demand zones. If you're watching any ticker on my channel, buy, no, sell. I'm not going to tell you to sell, but I want you to know when it hits a supply zone, I'm doing some extra analysis. Sell, hold, why is it here? What's going to happen next? Gorilla Grod, I'm not. He's asking about reverse split on AMC. I am not going to say that a reverse split is impossible for AMC, but right now we have no proposal. They have to get a vote. They have to schedule a vote. They have to notify shareholders. They have to schedule a vote, special shareholder meeting, yada, yada, yada. I'm not anticipating a reverse split, but I can't rule it out. I mean, I wouldn't argue strongly against anybody who's worried about it. I think it is a valid concern. It's something you should factor into your risk analysis for AMC. But since we don't have one on the table, I'm not worried about it. Could a proposal for a shareholder meeting pop up any day? Yeah, sure. But, they have, I think everything in the filings happens for a very particular reason. Nothing is an accident. And February 2nd is a date in the filings from late December in which AMC can do an offering up to $150 million, and they paid a stiff penalty to get that date and that amount. And there's not time to do a reverse split vote before February 2nd. So I'm not anticipating one before I'm anticipating ATM, if that makes sense. Anya says, all aboard for Railtown. Yeah, the other funny things these degenerate liars on YouTube tell you guys is that I work for the shorts. Motherfuckers, I'm buying Railtown down here in the 20s. Why would I? What kind of deranged old man tells people that I work for the shorts when I'm literally posting my buys, talking about it in Discord? Probably, I have people in my Discord telling me I'm crazy. What are you buying this no revenue stock for? I might be crazy, but I'm getting a good entry. I think that management has more good news ahead in the next 6 months than I'm worried about risk of bad news. There could be bad news, but everything is an analysis of probabilities. And when I don't know, I manage the size of my position. Another key video coming up, managing your risk. Doesn't mean you can't take a large position, even in a speculative stock like this, but there are very simple tools that pros, people that are at the top of their game use to manage their risk. And we'll talk about those in a video this weekend, maybe a live stream, and often over the next 11 months in this year. Because what I see is a lot of people that like to gamble, which is fine, I do too, but a lot of people that don't know how to manage their risk because they listen to these Pied Pipers telling them stocks are going to $55, $100, $500, $1,000. Those are the charm boys, the people who have 4 years of pushing failed tickers, and yet here they have another one telling you it's going to go to $55, $200, $500 in a couple months. Ridiculous. I mean, I hope it does. I'm buying it at 25 cents, but I will never make those kind of ridiculous predictions without data. We have no data to make any prediction like that. That's like pie in the sky stuff. I mean, I always hope the dreamers win, but I like profits a lot better. I don't like leaving money on the table and watching something get rugged back down. Anya says, I figure there isn't much downside. We know they have a deal with TELUS, Anya, Railtown. We know they have the partnership with AIP. There's not much downside, really, in my mind. All we got to wait now is for the revenue cha-ching. Now, in my analysis, the revenue is going to be very modest. Why do I do that? Because I don't want to pump you like a charm boy would with ridiculous revenue numbers. If it beats my expectations, then that's a bonus for me. But I haven't lied to you for 7 months with made up numbers because I like the way that they sound. I won't do that to you guys. Anya says, did you take some profits on Hycroft? I did take profits on Hycroft. I still am letting my SLV ride. SLV, silver. Every time I wake up in the middle of the night, Anya, and it's dumping in overnight trading, I just turn my phone off and go back to sleep. Please, Lord, rescue me in the morning, SLV. Michael says, can you tell me about the cash company has and the debt on Railtown? We can look at it real quick. I don't even remember off the top of my head. I don't think they have a lot of cash, and I don't think they have any debt, Michael. But let's just take a recap, because it has actually been it's been a few months. This company is a speculative no revenue ticker, a bet on upcoming revenue. It's a bet on a flip from no revenue to revenue. So here's the no revenue. You can see that. Operating income. I think there was some 2.3, 1.9 other. I think this other was not actual cash. We'll look at the cash flow statement in a minute. Balance sheet, they have 1.5 million. And let's look at cash flow. We should probably look at quarterly. Let's look at quarterly so we're not looking at really old data. Income statement, no revenue, operating income, negative 738. All right, 738,000 spent. Balance sheet, cash, net receivables, other current assets, 1.1 million. Assets versus liabilities, they're fine. And cash flow, 880 million. So where are they getting their cash? It's mostly coming from execution of warrants. That is what they're using to keep the lights on. So this is a startup company that, in my view, is operating on a very lean basis. I was very much picking on them in my first video or two about potential dilution, but as I spent time digging through their financials, I was like, oh, they are raising money through execution of warrants, exercise of warrants, but they're not really massively diluting. They're just, the warrants are bringing in just enough to keep the lights on. And now we're at a pivotal point in this year, I think, where with the TELUS deal, by the middle of this year, this company is going to be reporting some revenue. How much is a TBD? Gorilla Garage says his average is $4 on what, amigo? AMC? Anya says, very lean, one light bulb per office on Railtown. Yeah, I like the management teams as I got to know them of Railtown and AIP. I think that they're competent technically and in capital markets. This is a startup company. I don't want to sugarcoat it. We're like the VC venture capital for this company, the equity markets. And this is a binary play, in my view. What do I mean by that? They're either going to report revenue or they're not by the middle of this year. If they don't report revenue or the TELUS deal falls apart, we're fucked. But I don't think that that's a highly probable outcome. I think the probability is they're going to report revenue. And then the only question is how much? And the how much defines where the price goes from here. So buckle in. Let's find out together. I got a small position in this. I do want to remind you to always have a diversified portfolio. Don't put... There are literally people, guys, that are putting $100,000, $200,000 into this stock. I'm not even kidding you. There's one channel that's got 20 followers, 20 viewers. They own 17 million shares of this stock. another YouTube channel. They own 17 million shares at everything between 25 cents and 70 cents. Most of them are in the red. Some of them are break even. Some of them are desperately trying to average down now that the price is cheap. If only they would have listened to my caution back in July not to get fooled by the charm boys making daily 5-hour live streams with the title that says, buy, buy, buy. You're never going to get it cheaper than 60 cents again. Imagine. You're never going to get it cheaper than 60. You're never going to get it cheaper than 55. You're never going to see lower than 50. You're never going to see it lower than 45. You're going to regret it if you don't buy it at 40. 35 or bust, buy. I mean, it is pretty funny. It is pretty funny. I hate making fun of people, but they make fun of me every day for 5 hours a day for the last 7 months. Meanwhile, we're sitting in the lap of luxury here, ladies and gentlemen, buying in the 20s because we didn't blow all our dry powder at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 cents. We didn't do it. We don't do that. Keith says, what about bull? We're talking about Railtown, Michael. Railtown, I'm not going to throw anybody's name under the bus, but you can probably go do some searches on YouTube and figure out who talks bad, who lies and slanders old Tony DeNaro for 5 hours a day. He works for the shorts, they say. I own some bull. Who is this? Said that. Who asked for bull? Keith, what's up? I did put bull in the title. Let's talk about that before we talk about finger motion real quick. Webull, ticker symbol BULL, trading at $8.18. We covered this on a live stream with May. I took an early small position at 924. That was my toe in the water. If you are in my Discord, you always know that my toe in the water is a small position because we don't want to catch a falling knife. As the price declines, my buys get bigger. So I added at 806 and I added bigger at 781. So I don't know what my cost average is. I have to look. I might be down a couple dollars. I might be up a couple dollars. I mean, I'm basically flat because of the entry methodology I use on tickers. Get your first entry if you think it's bottoming out. But if you don't know that it's bottoming out, keep a lot of dry powder so you can buy when it finds that solid support. I have not bought any since October 21st, unless I forgot to update this. But this is a long-term play for me. This is a 1 or 2 year play. We don't think the Webull is going anywhere. We don't think that the financials suck. It might be the next Robin Hood in a couple years. I mean, it doesn't have that kind of pizzazz. It's not backed by Ken Griffin, but it's not a shitty company. So we buy and we hold. If you want to hear the analysis that we did, go back several months and go to the live stream tab and you can hear. I asked Markets with May to come in and talk about it because she is much more familiar than me at looking at financial institution financial statements. And thank you for May for sharing her thoughts. Let's move on to Finger. Anya says Gorilla Grodd reposted about he had Highcroft at $4. Oh my gosh. He says, I have Highcroft at $4 and thinking of selling and putting it towards something else like Railtown. My New Year's resolution, Gorilla, was when I am up on a position to take profits However, I made a lot of mistakes, the same mistake over and over in 2025, which was selling my entire position too soon. So my New Year's resolution in 2026, as things are running, is what the experts always tell us. I should have been paying more attention last year. Let a winner run. That doesn't mean don't take profits. But you should take some profits along the way and then let some run. So you're playing on house money. And if it tanks, I see people on Twitter saying silver is going to tank 50% in one day if it follows the last crash. I mean, that would be horrible. If you're sitting holding Hycroft at $35 and it drops to 18, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we'd all feel bad if that was us, right? Whatever happens with Hycroft is dependent on silver, which Hycroft doesn't control. So you gotta think about what you think about silver. And it's going to be dependent on the Q1 technical report with economics, which we expect to be good, but there's going to be a lot of new information for people to sift through. The timeline to get to mining, the CapEx of building a milling plant, which I estimate is going to be at least 2 years and $1 billion, in the neighborhood of $1 billion. Where's that money going to come from? You got to ask yourself that. What's the ROI? There's many things that are going to be revealed when that report comes out. So I can't say. Maybe Hycroft drops, maybe Hycroft skyrockets. I don't know. The only thing I'll say is Eric Sprott is buying, and he knows way more than me, so do what you're going to do. But I don't think it would be dumb to take a little bit off. Let some ride. All right, let's talk about finger motion before we get too late on this live stream here. So we have a historical multi-year demand zone. As I mentioned in Discord a couple days ago, I have triggers set to alert me when it is between $1 and $1.19. And earlier this week, that alert finally got triggered. Fingermotion is a speculative company. However, why? Why is Fingermotion speculative? I briefly read through this press release and the 10Q. Let's just go through some highlights, because we're not going to do a full 10Q walkthrough. We don't need to do that. We already kind of know the story on Finger. I've been following this ticker for years, and I've done other videos on it, and I don't want to repeat myself. I don't like repeating myself. Anya says, is Eric Sprott single? I don't know, Anya. Michael, all right, we'll take a look at GBX in a minute. What's the one thing that you notice that jumps out here on the income statement? This is not the big problem, but one thing that jumps out is revenue is down 32% year over year for Q3. And it hasn't been this low since Q3 of 2024. That's kind of concerning. I don't like to see revenue trends going down. You guys know we're looking for revenue trends going up and to the right. Not the chart. I'm talking the revenue trend. And again, I swing trade Finger, and I might swing trade it again, but I want you to know that I see the revenue. This is scary. I'm not telling you to buy and hold this stock, not even anywhere close to it. It's in a zone in which it typically gets pumped by, look, everybody else covering this stock, in my view, and my best estimation is being compensated in one way or another, because they will ignore all the data and pump it right before the company does an ATM. All I want to do is know who's pumping it, know that they need an ATM, get in when it's cheap right before the pump on social media starts, and then sell into it. If I buy it at $1 or $1.20 and I'm able to sell it $2, $3, $4, $5, or on the way up at $2.50, $3, $3.50, that's a good trade. I am not telling you this is a company on the verge. What did they say? Fingermotion, the rumor has it, here's my favorite quote from the pumpers. Rumor has it Alibaba is buying a stake in Fingermotion. That was one of the lies they said on social media last year. Y'all remember that one? Y'all finger people, you know who I'm talking about. Rumor has it. Rumor has it. Hey, if a tweet starts with rumor has it, you're being lied to, first of all. If a tweet ends with sources familiar with the matter say, you're also being lied to. Michael, does the company make a profit? No, they've never made a profit, Michael. They need social media engagement because they need to raise money. That is why you hear about this stock. Number one, you hear about it because there's a fuck ton of unfortunate people that are underwater in their position, and they need to keep talking about it because they need more buyers. But number two, the company engages consultants who engage YouTubers and social media folks for compensation to promote this stock. This is not even debatable. This has been disclosed in company documents. Operating income has never been positive. Net income has net income. Come on. Never been positive. I'm just trying to be upfront with you guys. It's fine to swing trade these stocks. If you know who's promoting them, you know their game, you know when the chart says it's cheap, and you know that they need to do an offering, so the pump is likely to happen. Again, it gets back to probability of certain outcomes. Is it probable that someone is going to promote this stock? In my view, yes. Is it probable the company needs to raise money? 99% yes, without a doubt. Let's get into that. Why am I saying they need to raise money? They have $20,000 on their balance sheet in cash. They have $4.59 million in short-term investments, probably treasuries. I don't know. I don't remember. Cash, it is a little higher than it was in 2025, and they could use some of these short-term investments if they're short-term treasuries laddered out. As those treasuries mature, they could use them to cover any working capital shortfall. So this is what I'm kind of thinking about. Is there a need to raise cash? There is a need to raise cash. Is it hair on fire? Should I stay away from this stock today? No, I think maybe I take a gamble on it this week, knowing that in the next 30, 60, 90, 180 days, they might need to raise cash, and they will likely pay someone to promote it. Because this cash is going to get burned off, more than likely. All right. Here's something that here's the one unique thing about this stock. Look at accounts receivable. Now, if you're a CPA, you're already screaming at the screen. This is Incredible. Accounts receivable up and to the right. Should that happen? Well, maybe. I'm not a CPA, but I took accounting. I took finance. I have my son is about to get his master's in accounting. I have other relatives that are CPAs. I have people in my Discord that are CPAs. I talked to a few CPAs, what I'm trying to say. And I've been reading financial statements for 30 years. Doesn't make me your financial advisor, but I've seen a few of these. This is a problem if what? When is skyrocketing accounts receivable a problem? When income is not growing. Here's what let me break it down for those that aren't accounting nerds. If your revenue is growing, your accounts receivable probably is growing. That's cool. As long as the ratio of revenue growing to accounts receivable growing is in some sort of homeostasis. They're in balance. But when your revenue is declining and your accounts receivable is growing, that means your customers, not only is your revenue falling, but your customers aren't paying you. Now, we have a formula that is called days of sales outstanding in the world of accounting or finance. This is one of the most atrocious DSO I have ever seen. And Martin Shin, anybody from Fingermotion, you need to speak on this because your filings every quarter just gloss right over it. And you're not acknowledging the elephant in the room that any of us with any modicum of experience can see. I keep calling them out on it once a quarter, and they don't address it. This DSO would be, what is it? Accounts receivable, so 44.25 million divided by revenue. What do we say that was? 5.8. Times 3. Let's do it times 90. Times 90, a quarter. 686. Days of sales outstanding, 686. That means they are 2 years behind, essentially, in collecting on sales. This is the one unique problem that Fingermotion has that nobody will talk to you about. A horrendous DSO. I want you to go to Grok right now, or Perplexity, or ChatGPT. I want you to ask them what is a acceptable days of sales outstanding. That dude says, I want your son to do my books once I'm wealthy. My son is not going to be a CPA, but if you need a CPA, I can recommend you one. My son is planning on going into investment banking or real estate, private equity. I don't know. He's entertaining various job offers. He was planning on going to New York this summer for a job offer, but now he tells me he's interviewing with some companies here in Texas, which I would love. I mean, it'd be cool to go visit a family member in New York, but I really don't want my kids all over the country. Anya says, under 45 days is acceptable. That sounds about right, Anya. And we're at 686. So for me, what do I like about Fingermotion? They have revenue. They have, yes, sure, they have losses. But I mean, it's not horrible. 1 million, 1.5, 2. This is not horrible. When I say of the crappy stocks that we look at, this is not the crappiest. They have a chance. This company has a chance. But as a shareholder, you better be paying attention to this growing accounts receivable, because this is a screaming red flag that the company cannot collect. They have two major customers that are about, 60 or 70% of their revenue. It's in the 10Q. And these people aren't paying. And I'm pretty sure it's the Chinese government. What can you do if you're a Chinese company and your major customers are the Chinese government? How do you get them to pay? You can't. Look at the fucking chart. They can't get them to pay. The CFO should be fired. There should be disclosures in the 10Q explaining more than just, we're not worried about our accounts receivable. Why are you not worried about it? It's at 680 days DSO, Martin Chin. Call me up, bro. Let's have a talk. I'll interview you, Martin. It's not going to be one of these charm boy jobs that the other YouTube channels do. We got a problem, Martin. The balance sheet looks okay. 60 million in assets, 43 million in liabilities, but you got a stinking AR problem. Cash flow, final thoughts, negative operating cash flow. Look, these aren't huge numbers. The operating cash flow is not horrible. Investing cash flow, blah, zeros. Financing cash flow. They've raised a little bit over the years from issuance of common stock. As they need money, they issue stock. The last time I bought this stock, which was here, they issued stock and the price plummeted. And you guys know, if you've been watching me at all, I like to buy after dilution. Hint, hint, AMC investors. I like to buy after dilution events. They raised a bunch of money. They pumped up their balance sheet a little bit. And that gave them a year or two of breathing room. So this isn't hair on fire financials, but I think they will need to raise money because they can't fucking collect. We wouldn't be having a problem with Fingermotion if they could collect on their accounts receivable. It'd be a whole different story. But the reason they keep on having to tap the well, tap the equity markets, is because they can't collect. They book revenue and they can't collect a payment. What the fuck? Scooby, how you doing, amigo? He says, Tony, just stopping by. I wanted to say you are one of the most truthful and honorable guys on the platform. Keep it up. Thank you. These damn trolls, Scooby, they've been after me for the past couple weeks. For being honest. I honestly think a lot of the trolls and haters that I get are paid for by lenders. There are some people that just have trouble with someone that is honest. I get it, you know. But there are people that pop up. I've never heard of them before. It's a new account. Don't listen to Tony. He's paid by the shorts. He doesn't want you to make money in this play. Like, we have a long ass history of being right on all these shitty stocks. We swing trade profitably a lot of these shitty stocks. If you haven't checked it out, go on my YouTube channel after the live stream tonight and watch a couple of the videos in my playlist called Pump and Dump Diaries. All these people want to discredit or quiet voices like me who are just telling you, buy when it's cheap, sell into run-ups. Don't listen to these ridiculous $1,000 price targets. Those are the people trying to rip you off. Or they're just delusional rainbow and unicorn riders. Maybe they're lying, Scott. Maybe. I mean, they're definitely lying. I don't work for shorts. I'm just a retail trader like you guys. Anya says, Tony won't say it, so I will. You guys should think about joining the Discord. I try not to promote the Discord, Anya, because I see the comments out there. You can't trust Tony because he has a Discord. I do have one, but I don't talk about it unless someone mentions it. Even half the time people ask me, how do I join your Discord? You can go look at the comments in my videos. Half the time I don't even answer them. If you can't figure it out, I don't want you. There's too much real talk, and we need people that are serious about learning to become better traders and disengage from the social media nonsense. If you can't figure out a basic thing like how to look in a video description for a Discord link, then I don't want you. Anya says, Tony, you said what to do after starting a small position. Price drops, add, yeah. Add in greater size, Anya. If your due diligence is still valid, right? We don't want to keep doubling down on a shitty company. But if we feel, and I'm not talking social media hype, like, oh, keep buying AMC because it keeps dropping. No, you got to understand the financials. I'm talking about like a Weeble. So I bought in at $9, or Railtown, I bought in at 45 cents. A little bit, but when it forms a firm support level, then I go in heavy. That's where you add. What happens, she says, when you start a small position and the price goes up? I would tell you, Anya, that the experts will say lean into a stock that is moving up and winning. I watch day traders. I've read books. I've read interviews. People much smarter than me lean into runners. I mean, if you guys disagree, let me know in the chat. It's okay if you have a different opinion. I'm telling you what I recall from all of the various people. I'm reading a new book this weekend. But, I mean, like to Gorilla Grodd's position with Hycroft. He bought it $4. Could have kept on buying. I wasn't in Hycroft at $4, but I bought in even as it was going up, and I still came out fine. But you must have the emotional control to be willing to hit that eject button when your risk parameters trigger. And that is one of the upcoming video topics that I'll be doing a video on for you guys. The risk management. It doesn't mean avoid shitty trades. It doesn't mean even avoid going large in speculative trades. It means having some risk management tools to get you out before you watch something wipe 90%. I want you out with minimal damage. We all take damage from time to time. That's fine. Not every trade's a winner. But you gotta know when to pull the ripcord. Girl, who is smarter? You're smarter than me, Gorilla Grodd. You're still holding your Hycroft. I made money on Hycroft, but I haven't made as much as you. For me, it's not about a pissing contest of who made the most. I only compare myself to the YouTubers who are majorly in the red on GameStop and then complain about me swing trading GameStop. Like, well, show your position. Dude, if I swung trade 1 share per quarter, I have more profit than you do because you're in the red thousands of dollars. And I'm buying more than 1 share, I can tell you that. But it is hilarious to me. Buy cheap, sell into run-ups, keep on locking in those profits, always be taking profits. Diversify your portfolio. Anybody telling you only buy 1 stock, run. You've got a cult leader there, somebody who is not well in the head. If someone is telling you only own 1 stock. And if you still want to do it, do it. Don't listen to me. But I am never going to stop telling you to diversify. And what does diversify mean? Does that mean buy AMC and GME and Fingermotion and GTII? And no. Diversify. Have a portfolio of decent stocks, guys. Growing revenues, growing profits that nobody would laugh at you for. In different sectors. Own a defense company, own a EV company like Tesla, own a AI company, own a consumer goods company. That is diversification. Solid companies that pay you dividends that you don't got to worry about. Even if the market drops 40%, you're going to be fine in a few years. That is diversification. That is what I mean. I don't mean diversify by owning a basket of shitty, no revenue stocks. These people... Tony wants you to diversify your Railtown into AMC and GameStop. I mean, clearly you have never watched my channel if you're saying some stupid ass shit like that. This is what the Railtown YouTubers say. He wants you to diversify from Railtown into AMC and GameStop. It's just like these people are mentally challenged, because anyone with common sense knows that is not what I preach. I don't even own AMC. Gorilla says, the only reason I didn't sell Highcroft is I was too lazy to log in to see where I was at. Hey, cheers to you, buddy. I love to see everybody that's making money on Highcroft. I made money, but I didn't make as much money as the true believers. I'm just happy to, if I can every year log a bunch of first and second base hits, maybe a third base, and the occasional home run, that's cool with me. I'm not trying to load up everything into 1 stock and pray for a home run. But I will celebrate all of you that do it. If you hit the home run, I'm gonna celebrate you being ballsy enough to get it done. Anya says, imagine if Adam Aaron had forgot he owned AMC. I know, Anya, there's a lot of people mad that AMC sold at whatever price they did. But they're up like 23, 24, 25 million dollars right now on the remaining warrants, something dumb like that. They're not in bad shape. They're going to come out fine on this investment. I'm shocked, honestly, that they haven't already dumped the remaining warrants, but maybe they do know that the news is going to be good when that Highcroft technical report comes out. I know that they need cash in Q1, in my opinion, in my cash flow analysis, in my Q1 box office analysis, which I look at once per week. I still think there's people, we're 15 days into January, there's people telling you we're going to win. Q1, don't even worry about it, bruh. It's just catching our breath. This is nothing. What's the worst that could happen? I don't know. What's the worst that could happen? Negative 300 million free cash flow, negative 400 million free cash flow. I mean, is that bad? Is that bad if we repeated last year? I don't know, bro. cash flow, AMC, Q1. Is that bad? It's just catching our breath. Don't worry, we already won. I mean, this is the nonsense we got to listen to on social media. I'm going to pray to the gods, both old and new, that there is some MNPI, material non-public information, that Adam Aaron is going to drop on us in Q1 that's going to save the day. But is it going to save the day for Q1? Do you think that Q1 box office is going to be astronomically higher than it was in 2025? I don't. It's going to be marginally better if all goes based on what we know it. But, I mean, it's pretty bad. A year ago, negative 417. I'm not trying to make you sell. I don't care what. I'm just like common sense here. Let's say it's negative 300 million negative free cash flow. The company is going to need to raise money. You better be planning on an ATM around February 2nd. If I'm wrong, you can come laugh at me in April. Anya says, why are the lights flashing blue? I don't know. What color do you want them to flash, Anya? You name a color. I got tired of seeing them on the Christmas theme. How about gold? Gold and silver, Anya. Yeah. Anya says, make them pink. Oh, my Lord. Anya. Why is it not? It's not letting me pick a color. Anywho, Gorilla Garage said he was going to say pink too. What is up with you guys? When I pick pink, well, that's kind of pink, right? All right, we'll go with that. Gorilla Highcroft AMC owns 1 million warrants with a exercise price around $10. So $35 minus $10, $25 times a million warrants. That's like a 25 million-ish profit. I mean, that's not bad. Anya, thank you for ONDS. ONDS, ONDS Holdings, soon to be ONDS Inc. We have a live stream scheduled at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. That's 9 a.m. Central for you fellow Texans. And it's a virtual investor day. Now, there's a lot going on with ONDS. They just filed like a $1 billion private placement or some shit. ONDS price target raised to $13. Sorry, $17 from $13. ONDS prices $1 billion offering at a premium. I'll be more prepared to go over that with you guys tomorrow, but there is a $1 billion offering news in the last week that you should go look at. This stock is on fire, 31 cents to $15. Do we want to miss out on the next Palantir? I don't know. I kind of like this stock. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm sure thinking about it. I'm trying to get as informed as I can. Sure would have wish I bought at 31 cents back in 2023, or even 71 cents not even a year ago. Oh my gosh, these people are doing fine. But if this company keeps on spreading its tentacles into government, industry, military, utilities, technology, drones, counter drones, I kind of like this one as one of our plays for 2026. Anya says, I beat Tony. You already in ONDS, Anya? You know me, Anya, I'd put a demand zone down here at $5 and say, I'll wait 2 years until it comes back to $5. But I don't think that is the case here, my friends. I don't think that is the case here. $12.82 is a healthy pullback from $15. So we're going to take a hard look at it after tomorrow's investor day. Anya says I'm in ONDS under $8. Where's the...
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Anya is up 50% on ONDS. I love it. And yes, you beat me. Congratulations. Write that down on your calendar, Anya. My wife did get to write something down the other day. I got something wrong. I already forgot what it was. Her dad tried to bet me something, Anya, last week. It was, I don't know how we got in this discussion, but we got in the discussion of human anatomy, and he said that the heart, because he could feel his heartbeat on his left side, that the heart was on your left side. And I said, no, sir. Your heart is in the center. I took anatomy. And in high school, for sure, maybe I don't remember if I took anatomy or just biology in college. Anyways, I knew the heart was in the center. He's like, Tony, do you want to bet? He loves to bet me. He's like me. He's stubborn. He always thinks he's right. He's an Aries, Scarlett's dad. I said, hell yeah, I want to bet. Pulled Grok out. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Take that, motherfucker. I won that bet. Was it about a movie? I don't remember, Anya. I'll have to ask her if she wrote it down. I don't remember. I know she will remember because it's only been 3 times in the last 10 years that I've been wrong. So if I was wrong in the last week, she will remember it. I'm not even joking. Like, you guys know, if I bring her on here, she's going to tell you the same damn thing. She gets really mad if she asks me a question and I don't know the answer. She's like, God damn it, Tony, you are supposed to know the answer to everything. I'm only human. I mean, I only know the answers to what I've studied or what I'm curious about. It is a falsehood that I know the answer to everything. Anya says you mentioned it in Discord. All right, I will check, Anya. All right, let's hang out for 9 more minutes until 8:30, and then we gotta get ready to go to the movie. Scarlett is sleeping, Anya. Normally she goes to work at about 6:30 at night, but she was awake a good portion of the day today. Today's her day off. Her first day off. She's off for 3 or 4 days in a row. So I scheduled a late movie because that is good for her. Normally she'd be like wide awake in the middle of the night because she works the overnight shift. I'm the one that you got to worry about falling asleep. But I think because we're going to see 28 years later Bone Temple, that I should be able to stay awake. Should be a good movie. Jay, what's up? J-Dog, you got 8 minutes to get any questions in. Otherwise, you're going to have to rewind for the last 90 minutes. We are super excited to see 28 years later Bone Temple tonight. There is another one. Scarlett asked me, what is a Dead Man's Wire? I think that's the name of that movie, right? Dead Man's Wire. There's another great crime drama movie out this weekend. There are a couple of good movies coming out next weekend, and then we have a dry period until about middle of February. If you're just wondering about how movies are tracking in my analysis for Q1, we're right on track. Thank God for the carryovers from Q4, because Q1 is going to suck. But they got us a good start into January, all the carryovers. I did have to reduce my expectations for Wicked. It kind of fell off real quick. Avatar is starting to fall off. But we got some good movies planned this weekend, next weekend. When I say good, I mean 20, 30, 50 million. These aren't billion-dollar movies. It's going to be a slow quarter. Q1. But, I mean, hey, I'm doing the best I can, guys. This is like... We're 15 days in. This is going to be like my 6th or 7th movie in January. What other YouTuber that covers AMC is watching a movie every other day? I don't even own the damn stock. He wants you to sell. I don't want you to sell. I want you to wait to buy when it's smart. I'm ready to buy. I'm gonna buy. Probably in Q1, but not before an ATM. In the meantime, what can I do? I can allocate my entertainment budget to watching the cinema in Dolby at AMC and buying some popcorn and some snacks. Am I going to watch the Lord of the Rings movies, Gorilla Grodd? That is a good question. I don't think my wife really cares about them. I might sneak away and watch them myself. I'm a huge fan. Read all the books several times. Adore all of the movies. I would feel bad if I didn't go watch them again. I can't commit to you right in this moment that I will. But it's on my wish list, and I would like to, so we will see. I'm getting really mad, honestly, right now when I look at the movies that are available every day. Like, seen it. I've fucking seen everything. There's nothing out that I haven't seen. So I'm kind of excited about this weekend. J-Dog, no questions, Jay? AMC, GME, Railtown, ONDS, Fingermotion. I thought we'd have more Fingermotion people come in here tonight. When the Fingermotion paid pumpers cover it on YouTube, I want you guys to search. I want you to search real quick. Who is covering Fingermotion on YouTube? And I want you to watch their coverage in relation to mine. And then tell me that that guy's not being paid. Tell me that guy's not being paid. Anya says, do I need to get out of IMAX? I don't think so, Anya. Global box office is going to be great in 2026. And IMAX is global. The only one that's not global is AMC. Not the only one, sorry. None of them are global. Let me rephrase that in a more appropriate manner. The only company that is global and has exposure to China is IMAX. I'm waiting to buy AMC. I own Cinemark and I own Marcus Corp, MCS. I have previously owned and doubled my money in IMAX. I don't own it at the moment. I don't hate it. I just think it's close to fair value. J-Dog says he's waiting on Railtown News. Me too, buddy. I hope you scroll back and find where I had the Railtown chart on the screen. We talked about it for a good bit because I want to defend myself to the slanderers, the old men in dementia that tell you that I work for the shorts. I don't. I'm buying Railtown at these prices. We went over my tweets. Why doesn't Tony tell you that they're walking down the price of Railtown? I did tell you to expect they would walk it down back in July. July what? July 8th. Caution warranted if it rejects here. I mean, I think we've called Railtown perfectly, and it makes a lot of people mad that I keep on calling their tickers perfectly. But I like to buy when it's cheap, and I like to sell when I'm in a profit. I don't know why so many people have a problem with that. Just because I'm preaching common sense, I work for the shorts? Or do these people just not want you to get good information? You guys need to start asking yourself the hard questions. How can we be so right so many times, but everyone hates this channel? Because the paid pumpers don't want you to watch real information. It's the only thing I can come up with. The charm boys don't want you to watch good information. They don't want you to wait till it's cheap. They don't want you to sell when it's moving up. Yeah, Jay. I know he slanders me 5 hours a day. I mean, I have so much receipts on him, Jay. I could make a bunch of videos, not even slander. It would be fact about all the tickers he's led people to the slaughter on. He gets mad at me for telling people use caution at 70 cents. And he ignores the fact that I'm very plain that I'm buying down here in this zone. Somehow that makes me working for the shorts. I don't get it. It's people, it's got to be dementia or some sort of narcissistic lying disorder, bipolar. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm clearly long the stock. I clearly think it's a good buy right here. And I clearly said in July, be careful if it rejects off of 68 cents. Was I wrong about anything? No. Some people cannot. I don't know. What do you call it, Anya? When you are constantly wrong about something, but you want, it's deflection. You want to blame somebody else to cover up what you got wrong. Like if I made a mistake, I'll just say I made a mistake. That guy was right. He was more right than me. I won't accuse him of anything. I won't try and slander him or throw him under the bus. I'll just say, hey, he called it. Kudos. Maybe we should do a collab. See what I can learn from that guy. I love to have collabs with people that are smarter than me. You guys know that. I certainly don't know everything. Anya says we need a new ticker, ONDS, Anya. And we're going to talk about, before this month is up, I'm going to give you all of my tickers that are new for 2026. How about that? Sam says, Ham told my finger was going to the moon. I know. Ham is no fan of me, Sam. Ham is no fan of me. And I don't hate finger. I have called the entries and exits on finger perfectly. It's not even an exaggeration. You can go back and find my live streams or my tweets. At every peak and finger, we've called it. How do I keep doing it? I don't know. Hocus pocus or just common sense? We've called the tops on finger perfect. I don't hate finger. I've swing traded finger. I'm going to swing trade it again. But they don't like it. The pumpers don't like it when you suggest common sense profit taking. Ham does say every now and then take profits. He throws enough in there to keep it sounding like he's legit. But the rumor has it that Alibaba is buying a stake. That's just straight up horseshit. Come on. Hopefully over the last 4 or 5 years, you guys have learned to see through some of that shit. Jay, I could have been wrong about Railtown if the AIP deal would have been something more meaningful than we got. I took a little position before the final announcement at 45 cents, whatever. Small. But we knew that if the news ended up being nothing, it was going to come back down. Now is where we're adding. I've bought 90% of my position in Railtown in the last, 2 weeks. 90% of my Railtown position has been bought in the last 2 weeks. I go heavy when it gets in the demand zone. I don't mind speculating a little bit, on a news announcement, but I've learned that I'm not always right and that speculation is dangerous. So I don't go heavy when I'm speculating on just a hunch or a guess. But I have done enough due diligence on Railtown over the last 7 months that I believe in the company at the right price. At the right price, my probability of a good outcome is dramatically increased. Sam, thank you. He says, thank you for keeping it real and helping people sort through all the BS these people push. I've told my Discord from time to time, there are a few pumpers that you should pay attention to, not because they are ever right on their price targets, but you will know in advance what tickers are about to run. And all you got to do is, like, if they give $1,000 price target and it's a $1 stock, get out at $5. You 5x'd your money. It's not going to 1,000. You're going to be happy. Take your wife on a vacation. Don't put all your money in all these in one play. Spread it out. More on risk allocation and how to protect yourself in an upcoming video. Stay tuned. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. We're going to go in detail how I survive these speculative plays. He took fucking profits, ladies and gentlemen. He took fucking profits. All right. I got to go wake up Scarlett because we got movie time coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We love you. I love you. Scarlett loves you.
And to the right, up, and to the right, up, and to the right.
Hello, millionaires. Short squeeze plays where fortunes flip. GameStop's journey and an epic trip. From humble roots to the moon we fly. A company's dream will amplify. Ready warriors, keyboards in hand, with their eyes on the prize, they took a stand. No one's selling, we're here to fight. How does it go? Up and to the right, up and to the right. We're in for the ride. It's us on the rise, it can't be denied. Up and to the right, through the day and night. Together we'll soar, molasses in sight. But the retail army we've already won.